Think about how much time you spend on your phone every single day. You text, you scroll, you call, you video chat, and yet, when it comes to talking about your phone in English, most people are completely lost for words. That gap between how much we use our phones and how little we can actually say about them in English is exactly what this lesson is going to fix. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Seema, and today we're diving into something that's deeply embedded in your daily life but almost never taught in a traditional classroom: the real, natural English expressions that people use when talking about their smartphones. Here's the thing: language evolves alongside technology. Every time a new device enters our lives, new words and phrases follow. And the smartphone didn't just change how we communicate, it changed the very language we use to describe our experiences. Expressions that didn't exist 20 years ago are now part of everyday conversation. People use them at work, at school, with friends, and in casual settings all the time. And if you don't know these phrases, you're missing out on a huge part of how modern English actually sounds. That's exactly why this lesson matters. These aren't the stiff, formal phrases you'd find in a textbook. These are living, breathing expressions that real people use in real conversations. By the time we're done, you won't just understand them, you'll know exactly when and how to use them yourself. So let's not waste another second, because we have a lot of ground to cover, and every single expression we're about to explore is one you're going to find genuinely useful. The first thing worth understanding is that smartphone culture has introduced a whole new emotional vocabulary. We now have words for feelings and situations that simply didn't exist before. Being ignored after sending a message, for example, used to be hard to describe precisely. But today, there's a perfect expression for it, and it's one of the most commonly used phrases among younger English speakers around the world. We're going to start right there, with an expression that almost everyone has experienced but not everyone knows how to put into words. Whether you're a student trying to sound more fluent, a professional looking to communicate more naturally, or simply someone who loves learning English, these phone expressions are going to add real value to the way you speak. So settle in, pay attention, and let's build your smartphone vocabulary from the ground up, one powerful expression at a time. Let's start with a situation that is almost universally frustrating. You've typed out a message, hit send, and waited. Then you notice that small icon, that little tick or check mark that tells you your message has been seen, the other person has read it. And yet silence, no reply, no reaction, nothing at all. Minutes turn into hours and still not a single word comes back. What do you call that? In modern English, there's a very specific expression for exactly this moment. They left you on read, or as it's also commonly said, they left you on read. This phrase has become one of the most recognized expressions in digital communication, and it describes the act of someone reading your message and choosing not to respond. It's not that they missed it, they saw it, they read it, and they simply did not reply. That deliberate silence is what makes being left on read feel so personal, and that's exactly why the expression carries such weight. When you say someone left you on read, you're not just describing a technical event, you're describing a feeling. A feeling of being overlooked, dismissed, or simply not important enough to warrant a response. You'll hear this expression used casually all the time. Someone might say, "I texted him 3 times and he just left me on read," or "She left me on read for 2 days, I couldn't believe it." The emotion behind the phrase is always clear, even when the tone stays light and humorous. It's one of those expressions that communicates so much with so few words, which is exactly what makes it so powerful and so widely used across English-speaking communities around the world. The reason this expression resonates so deeply is that almost everyone has experienced it. It doesn't matter your age, your background, or where you live. If you use a smartphone, you've almost certainly been left on read at least once. And now that you know this phrase, you'll never struggle to describe that experience again. Use it, practice it, and notice how naturally it fits into everyday conversation. Now let's move to another experience that's just as universal, one that seems to strike at the most inconvenient moments possible. You're in the middle of an important conversation, about to send a crucial message, or trying to navigate somewhere unfamiliar, and suddenly your screen goes dark. Everything stops. Your phone has completely shut down. In English, the expression for this is simple and very direct. My phone died on me. When we say something died on us, we mean it stopped working entirely and without warning. It's a dramatic word for what is genuinely a dramatic moment, especially when you needed your phone most. The phrase died on me is particularly expressive because the addition of on me suggests that the phone let you down personally. It didn't just stop working in general, it stopped working at exactly the wrong moment, leaving you stranded. That small addition makes the phrase feel much more vivid and relatable than simply saying, my phone turned off. This usually happens because the battery wasn't charged in time, and the device ran out of power completely. Which brings us to a closely related phrase you should know: my phone is low on battery. This is the warning that comes before the disaster. When your phone is low on battery, it means the charge is running dangerously close to zero, and you need to find a power source soon. Think of it this way: low on battery is the alarm, and died on me is what happens when you ignore it. Both of these expressions are incredibly useful in everyday situations. Imagine telling a friend why you didn't respond to their call. Sorry, my phone died on me and I didn't have a charger nearby. Or letting someone know you need to wrap up a conversation. I have to go, my phone's really low on battery. These are natural, fluent sentences that fit perfectly into real-life conversations. And knowing them makes your English sound effortless and authentic. Let's shift to something slightly different, a problem that doesn't kill your phone but makes using it feel like a test of patience. Everything is slow. Apps take forever to open. Videos buffer endlessly. Tapping the screen feels like shouting into a void. When your phone behaves this way, there are two expressions that describe it beautifully. The first is that your phone is lagging. To lag means to move or respond much more slowly than it should, and it's a word used widely in the world of technology. When your phone is lagging, every action feels delayed, every response feels sluggish, and the whole experience becomes deeply frustrating. The second expression is closely related: your phone is becoming sluggish. The word sluggish actually originates from the word slug, a small creature that moves at an almost comically slow pace. When something is sluggish, it is slow, unresponsive, and lacking in energy. Applied to a phone, it paints a vivid picture of a device that can barely keep up with basic tasks. Both lagging and sluggish are used interchangeably in conversation, and knowing both gives you more flexibility in how you express this common frustration. But sometimes the problem isn't just slowness, it's something far stranger. Your phone starts behaving in ways that don't make sense. Calls connect to the wrong people. The screen freezes unexpectedly. Apps crash for no reason. Nothing is quite working the way it should, but you can't pinpoint a single specific cause. In English, you describe this by saying your phone is acting up. This versatile expression is used whenever a device starts behaving oddly or unpredictably. It doesn't imply that the phone is broken, just that something is off, and the behavior is abnormal enough to be noticed and worth mentioning. My phone's been acting up all morning, or I think my phone is acting up again, calls keep dropping, are both perfectly natural things to say. The phrase is casual, expressive, and immediately understood by any English speaker. A phone is only as good as its connection, and anyone who has sat through a buffering video or a dropped call knows exactly how important a strong network is. When your internet connection is weak, unreliable, or simply not functioning properly, the most natural way to express that in English is to say your network is terrible, or if you're connected to wireless internet, your Wi-Fi is terrible. These phrases communicate both the problem and the frustration that comes with it, and they're used constantly in everyday conversation. Sometimes, though, the issue isn't your connection, it's the phone itself. Technology moves fast, and a device that felt cutting-edge 2 or 3 years ago can start to feel painfully outdated. When your phone no longer has the features, the speed, or the capability to keep up with what you need, you'd say your phone could use an upgrade. This expression means the device needs to be replaced with something newer and more capable. It's a polite and natural way of acknowledging that your current phone has simply reached the end of its useful life for your needs. Then there's a completely different kind of phone problem, one that has nothing to do with your device and everything to do with the people trying to reach you. Spam calls are unsolicited, often automated phone calls from telemarketers, scammers, or unknown organizations trying to sell you something or trick you into something. They're incredibly common, and most people receive them regularly. When an unfamiliar number appears on your screen and something feels off, the most natural response is to say, "It seems like a spam call," and simply not answer. This phrase is widely understood and used across all age groups, and it's a perfectly normal part of everyday phone conversation. There are moments in life when your phone needs to be completely silent, and English has very clear expressions for exactly that. Before walking into an exam, a job interview, an important meeting, or a theater performance, the responsible thing to do is mute your phone, or, as it's equally common to say, keep it on silent. Both expressions mean the same thing. You've disabled all sounds so that your phone won't ring, buzz, or alert you at an inappropriate moment. It's a simple but essential phrase, and one that every English speaker uses regularly. In situations where even a silent notification could cause a distraction, on an airplane, for example, or during a live presentation, you take things one step further and put your phone on flight mode. Flight mode disconnects your device from all wireless signals, including calls, messages, and internet. It's the most complete way to ensure your phone causes absolutely no interruption, and the expression itself is widely recognized across the world. And then there are those days when your phone simply will not stop ringing. Call after call, notification after notification, with barely a moment of quiet in between. For this, English gives you two wonderfully expressive options. The first is to say your phone is ringing incessantly. The word incessantly means continuously and without pause. It suggests a level of persistence that goes beyond normal and starts to feel overwhelming. The second option is an idiom that has been around far longer than smartphones. My phone is ringing off the hook. This expression originally referred to old-fashioned landline phones, where the receiver would literally fall off the hook if the phone rang too much. Today, it's used to describe any phone that rings constantly and relentlessly. Both expressions carry the same meaning but bring slightly different flavors. Ringing incessantly feels more formal and descriptive, while ringing off the hook is more colorful, more casual, and more idiomatic. Knowing both gives you options depending on the context and the conversation. And that brings us to the end of today's lesson, a complete set of real, modern, everyday English expressions built entirely around the smartphone experience. From being left on red to ringing off the hook, each phrase you've learned today reflects how English speakers actually talk about their devices and their digital lives. The best way to make these expressions your own is to start using them immediately. Drop your favorite one in the comments below, use it in a sentence, and let me know which situation you relate to most. I'll be reading every comment and responding as I can. Until next time, keep learning, keep speaking, and I'll see you in the next lesson. Claude Fable 5 is currently unavailable. Learn more opens in new tab.